Hi everyone, it's Brave here again. I've written a new poem for my ancestors. Like I've said before, I'm from a mixed ancestry, and this particular poem is for my ancestors who are connected to my mum's Jamaican side. So obviously the African ancestors who were brutally kidnapped and taken to the Caribbean, forced to be slaves. I'm kind of referring to them, but also referring to the stress and struggle we face now as descendants of warrior people who were so great and had so much power in their own land, but that their whole legacy was erased by people kidnapping them and then convincing the world that they came from nothing, that they were only slaves or only fit to be slaves, which is ridiculous. Africa before slavery was a mighty powerful place that Europe was jealous of, and they couldn't even believe the, things they saw there because it was more advanced than certain parts of Europe. So yeah, so this is the poem. It's called My Bloodline Ready for War. Proud descendants of regal warriors, we've been forced to face unfairness day by day from people in evil's pay. Our bloodlines have been fighting on the front line against the powers that be for many a vile century. Different societies rose and fell, but the yearning for freedom they could not quell. Forced to keep fighting the wars of injustice against a cruel world leaves us feeling so hurt, broken, and disgusted. Trickery done to convince us that we should fight ourselves, so much self-hate and misery. But it's never too late to remember the greatness from which we came from. Don't let the evil state of things make you hate yourself or your ancestors. Don't believe the lies sent out to convince yourselves and the world that you are worthless. You are a powerful spiritual being, and your dignity and integrity are priceless, so hold your head up high always. Never bow your head to anyone, ever. They hate and despise us, and they hate that they can never take our power away. Dear ancestors, thank you for passing on to me your unbreakable spirit. I know you protect me and walk with me and watch over me, keeping me strong, ready for war. So this poem I wrote because to me, it doesn't matter how many hundreds of years that has gone by since my ancestors were cruelly, forcibly kidnapped and taken to other countries, and forced into slavery, raped, tortured, all sorts of terrible things. It doesn't matter that it's not happened to me personally. I think it's important to remember where you come from, who your people are, even if it's just part of your heritage and you're mixed, it should be important to you. I find a lot of people with mixed heritage, whenever they're part black, they want to erase that part of them. They never want to claim that part of them, which I think is disgusting. You should want to claim all parts of you. I'm from a mixed background. I have like 3 or 4 different heritages, so I'm not just half and half. I'm like multiracial, and I claim all of it, and yeah, it's kind of weird to me that people would claim the ancestors who used to rape and kill and murder and take people's land, but they don't want to claim the ancestors who were the victims of those other ancestors. It's kind of weird to me. But I'm not against any set of people. Like I said, I'm from a mixed background and I love all human beings. I don't care what race you are. I will protect and help any and everyone as long as you're a nice, decent, good soul. It's about good against evil, not white against black, or, race against race, or gay against straight, or, it's not about that. It's just about good souls against evil souls. And but yeah, it does bother me how the effects of slavery and the fact that people way back in time decided to convince the world that people of African ancestry were not human. You know, they tried to convince the world that these people aren't even human, so don't worry about the terrible things we're doing to them, you know, because if people had turned around and said, hey, you're not allowed to do this to these people, you know, they don't want to be challenged, so they have to make up a lie that everyone can stomach so they can carry out this atrocity, you know. Just like in history, in other situations, lies have been told to stir up hatred against, you know, specific groups of people, because that's the easiest way to get people to go along with your sick agenda. You know, if you have a bad intentions and you're greedy or jealous and you want to, you know, destroy other people. And yeah, so for me, it always is on my mind, you know, that what if slavery still existed and it was based on colour? I would be in chains. It doesn't matter that I'm mixed. I would be in chains, and I never forget that. You know, all these young people today, they forget who their ancestors were. They don't care about the suffering that was done to the terrible suffering they went through. They don't care about the atrocity that was done to them, which I think is disgusting and shameful. How dare you not care about other human beings, even if they weren't your ancestors? Just care about other human beings who have suffered past and present. Like, it's really shocking to me to see how poorly people react to suffering. They don't care. They're just like, well, it's not my problem. Why do I have to think about my ancestor who was raped a million years ago? I mean, not a million, you know, 300 years ago. You should care. If you were a good soul, you would care. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't know why, but it's so obvious to me. It's not obvious to everyone else, but it's so obvious to me how the way people who have any black ancestry, African ancestry, are treated once they reveal that, because I don't look like I have African ancestry, but when people mistake me for another race, I always correct them and say, no, I'm this, this, and this. And then it's like most people want to ask what background you are so they can work out how to treat you in the hierarchy of their mind. So if you're a certain, you know, if you were to pretend you were one race that people consider higher than themselves, or the other, or, you know, the top tier in their silly mind, they think, oh, well, these people, I would consider them above me. So if you're part of them, you must be above me. You know, silly things like that. I've seen that, where people are so self-hating of themselves that if they think you're a certain race, they will immediately defer power to you. But then when they realise, oh, you're mixed with African, oh no, you're not actually better than me in my mind. It's just like, well, I didn't want to be better or lower than you. We're supposed to be equal. We're just human beings while we're down here, you know, but we're spiritual beings in a human body. But because of this messed up weirdo world, people really put so much emphasis on color and race, and yet when we die, none of that even matters. You go home to the spirit world and race doesn't even exist. All this nonsense they're doing down here doesn't even exist. It means nothing, you know, all this greed and abusing people down here. It's just so pointless. It just I don't know. But anyway, I hope you all liked my poem. And like I said, I love and respect everyone of every race. And I don't want anyone who's not black or who hasn't got any black ancestry to feel bad, or that I'm blaming people who are related to, you know, whose descendants were colonialists. I'm not, you know, blaming the descendants of those people for what their ancestors did. I understand that, you know, I can't be made responsible for something. If one of my ancestors did something bad to someone, I wouldn't expect to be punished for something that was done in the past. And I too have, you know, English, Irish, Scottish, mixtures and, you know, other stuff as well. So you know, it's technically you're like related to the victims and the perpetrators in some ways. It's complicated, but you know, all I know is that I'm with the good against the evil. Whoever the good is, I'm with you. Whoever the evil is, I'm against you. So yeah, but anyway, I hope everyone has a great day or night wherever you are in the world. I wish you love and protection, and God bless you all. And if you look through my channel at other videos, you might hear something that you can relate to, or that makes you think, or that is interesting. And so have a look please on my channel if you feel to, and like, share, subscribe, and that's all. Bye for now. Thank you.